Hello, Gender Blenders. This is week 4. Yeah, week 4, and the topic was mannerisms. So, yeah, I think mannerisms are pretty damn important because a lot of your passing really depends on how your mannerisms are, and I think there's definitely some things that are pretty characteristic of males and pretty like masculine versus things that are pretty characteristic of females. Me personally, I haven't really tried to drop any habits or create new habits. It's just I've been this way since I can remember. So, but I think it's pretty important, and I think you think the same thing too, right?
Well, yeah, I do. But I was actually just thinking, I was agreeing with what you were saying, because when I met you and you were the other way, I thought that you had a lot of male characteristics as well.
Yeah. Some of the things that we were both talking about were pretty masculine. Ranges from like the way you talk, which is really important. She was just telling me earlier that males are pretty monotone with their voice. Like they don't fluctuate the pitch and tone of their voice as much as females do. And apparently I'm monotone, I guess. Something else, the way you stand, just when you're just at standstill, men tend to, and this is not like 100% for every guy, but most men tend to just distribute their weight evenly and take up more space versus women that just, they shift their weight with their hips and shift weight between one foot and the other, and they take minimal space, like they try to keep all limbs and extremities close to their body. But that's just something that we were...
I don't know if they try to do it. Excuse me, I'm getting over a cold, so I apologize. But I don't know if they try to do it. It's just more of a subconscious thing. I've noticed, and I do a lot of people watching, and I noticed that men tend to like, I can't really see me, but they tend to like when they walk, they kind of, their shoulders are broad and they kind of take up a lot of space when they walk. Women are more closed, like their hands kind of tend to go close to their bodies, and when they do walk, they take smaller steps, so the strides are smaller as well. So everything kind of, like simplistically speaking, I think men are kind of more, they project out, whereas women kind of project in when they carry themselves in public. That's what I've noticed.
Very true, and women also use their hands a lot when they talk, in case you haven't already noticed. Women use their hands a lot when they talk, men don't really do that, I don't think. Well, at least for the most part, from what I've noticed. There was also 2 other things that we were talking about. The way you look at your nails, and this is just, it's not like everyone does it a certain way, but men, when you tell a man to look at his nails, he'll typically look at them this way, versus a woman, when you tell her to look at her nails, she'll look at them this way, and it's...
Same with when you place your hands on your hips, like when you're just kind of, you don't know what to do with your hands and you're kind of waiting, women will tend to, I can't see you again, but women will tend to go like this, whereas men tend to hold their hips like that.
And closer to the belt also.
Yeah.
So, and women usually hold their hands higher up on their hips. Yeah, I think. So I think the way you talk is the biggest thing, because I found that even when I'm looking at videos of guys that have not been on T, but the way they talk kind of matches like the more monotone male way of talking, they would pass in my eyes. Like I wouldn't, even if their voice isn't really dropped yet, I wouldn't consider them passing any less because of the way they talk. I don't know, I'm just rambling now, but
no, I mean, I think that mannerisms are very important. Considering, like, if you work in an office environment like I do, you go to like communication classes, and one of the things that they tell you in those classes is that 90% of your communication skills derive from visual cues. People only really pay attention to about 10% of what you're saying, the actual word, the content of your communication. The other 90% comes from your visual cues, like how you talk your voice fluctuation, like your eye, the way you look, the eye communication, and things of that nature. So men and women differ in the way that they communicate. And so I think mannerisms are very important because, as Adrian was saying, men tend to speak in monotone, whereas women tend to fluctuate their voice. They'll kind of emphasize certain words, or in the word choice that they use as well. Like men tend, and I'm just saying this simplistically or generally speaking, but women tend to use different sorts of vocabulary that men do in order to explain a certain concept. So men tend to be kind of cut and dry, and they don't really use a lot of emotion words, whereas women tend to tell you how they feel, as opposed to men just kind of tell you how it is. I hope that makes sense to you. Probably not.
Yeah, don't forget we're talking really simplistic and generally speaking. This is not to say that everyone does a certain way, that everyone should do it a certain way. That's just observations that we have made on our own. So, I mean, like I said, I haven't really made that many adjustments. I can't think of really anything that I have done to adjust or create new habits. I mean, this is just how I am. I've always been this way. Occasionally, I'll act in a way that, I don't know if you can consider it feminine, because really, I don't have a problem passing, but oftentimes people think I'm a gay male, and I don't know if that has to do anything with my love and interest for fashion and the arts, as opposed to sports and politics. But I do get the whole gay male thing a lot, but I don't care if, I don't care at all. As long as I'm being perceived as male, it doesn't bother me either way.